Hi everyone, welcome to Process Automation 4.x. My name is Forrest Evans. I'm the Director of Product within the Automation Portfolio Group. And today we're going to talk about how the latest process automation releases will enhance your automation maturity. Before we dive into a feature list, let's briefly chat about the platform and how it can help. Today, digital demand is higher than ever. Systems are continuing to grow in complexity as companies move to cloud-native, microservices, and all while needing to remain secure and compliant. In a PagerDuty survey of 700 DevOps and IT practitioners around the world, we found that more than 80% of organizations have experienced a significant increase in pressure on digital services since the start of the pandemic. Compared to pre-pandemic, respondents reported a 47% increase in the number of daily incidents. According to a survey by Google, the cost of toil could be up to 80% of an IT operations budget. And 62% of DevOps and IT responders work at least an extra 10 hours per week resolving incidents. This ticket time organizational structure does not align with the pace of today's operations. Incidents require too many people to resolve and take too long. As systems complexity increases, so does the number of incidents. Often these incidents are escalated to subject matter experts to fix. Repetitive toil is costly. Toil can directly affect the bottom line, but it can also slow engineering time for an organization, potentially affecting innovation. And we all know engineers are burnt out. So what I'm really saying is, how do we not become Alice here? Automation solutions are built to help these situations. However, certain challenges exist in an organization, prevent some automation from being shared widely. Organizations might have a solution already, but these automation solutions may not be safe to make broadly available to all potential users. There are some big gaps that need to be addressed to make automation safe and usable for these stakeholders. There's a knowledge gap. Companies can spin up lots of different kinds of services and often have many covering different use cases. So many, no single person can know them all. There's a skills gap. Much of the automation that exists today requires specific expertise to properly use, and developing broad value requires additional skills like knowing how to write solution-specific scripts. Many generalists will lack these skills. And there's an access gap. Modern security standards dictate that privileged access should not be handed out like candy to everyone. PagerDuty's automation portfolio helps fill these gaps. Driven by a rich user interface with granular access control to only allow the access needed, extensive integration libraries to streamline building new automation, and a deep feature set built for the enterprise, PagerDuty's automation platforms can solve these challenges. PagerDuty Process and Runbook Automation include user-friendly integrations using plugins to common infrastructure and systems, simple graphical definition of automation jobs, access control lists and configuration and more, role-based and context-based access control and logging of job runs. With the introduction of automation, we can now empower Alice to change those task requesters to becoming task achievers through the power and safety of PagerDuty automation. I added this graphic to highlight what we plan on talking about today, and that it's just the tip of the iceberg. If you're new to Rundeck, much of what I'm listing today is all built on top of a deep set of automation capabilities that started all the way back in 2010. If you're still curious afterwards how these new product features we're going to talk about work, check out Jake Cohen's session, Is It the Cloud App Database? Reduce escalations by giving first responders automated diagnostics. Jake pulls together a lot of the new features available in our latest release to show you how you can use that to pull in automated diagnostics to your incidents. Or if you want to learn more about the SaaS product, check out Pekka Karnev's Automation 101 with Runbook Automation. So what's new? The big announcement with our 4.0 release was that our formerly known Rundeck Enterprise changed names to Process Automation. Runbook Automation is our cloud-hosted offering with the same great automation benefits. Automation is a key component of the PagerDuty digital operations platform, and the PagerDuty Process Automation product suite powers our mission to drive automation through the enterprise. The vision behind PagerDuty Process Automation is to help our customers automate everything in their business to drive up consistency and reduce resolution times. The PagerDuty Process Automation helps customers automate IT and business procedures across their business systems. These processes can then be safely delegated to stakeholders, run on a scheduled basis, or triggered in response to events and used to diagnose and remediate issues, or fulfill service requests. PagerDuty Process Automation lets you automate businesses and IT processes across all your systems. Engineers can standardize operating procedures, define automated jobs incorporating other existing automation, and safely delegate those processes as APIs and self-service requests to other stakeholders. Now companies can automate their most common operating procedures, even automatically handle frequent exceptions. The PagerDuty Process Automation portfolio consists of the following offerings. PagerDuty Runbook Automation was originally announced as Rundeck Cloud. This is a SaaS service that enables engineers to standardize and automate runbook procedures and delegate services as self-service operations. PagerDuty Process Automation On-Prem was formerly known as Rundeck Enterprise. This is your self-hosted software cluster that gives engineers the full ability to standardize and automate end-to-end operational workflows and safely delegate them as self-service operations. And PagerDuty Automation Actions, formerly Rundeck Actions, is a PagerDuty add-on that curates and connects responders inside the PagerDuty product to automated diagnostics. Digging in a bit deeper to the differences between Process Automation On-Prem and Runbook Automation. Process Automation On-Prem is a great fit for companies that want the full power and customization of their automation platform. With the data and everything housed and hosted in your own data center, you have the full power to get that customization that you need to run your automation. Runbook Automation is hosted by us here at PagerDuty and is built for availability, security, and scale with that quick ramp-up time of a SaaS and reduced overhead of managing yet another system. Both are still based on the process automation codebase and our Rundeck open source project. Although we changed those commercial product names, you can still expect the same great products. At the core of these products is our long-running open source project, Rundeck Community. Rundeck Community is not changing its name and will remain open source. Because open source is at the core of these products, we will continue investing in the open source project, and you can expect to see a regular stream of new releases there as well. We are committed to this open core development style because it underpins our commercial products. Great, so let's get to the good stuff and look at the latest and greatest features that came out with version 4.0. The first one is our Process Runner. The Process Runner securely opens up network communication between data centers and your process automation platform. The runner is a remote execution hub for node steps to run on specified endpoints, rather than from the automation server itself. The Process Runner deploys behind firewalls in disparate environments, and it securely connects nodes within these network segments back to a central process automation on-prem or Runbook Automation instance. These disparate nodes can then be used to execute steps in automated process jobs that span across multiple environments. The Process Runner is built to meet the latest zero trust security models. It calls back to the process automation system via HTTPS. There's no need to open additional ports and firewalls. For example, PagerDuty Process Automation On-Prem security model works well for companies looking to eliminate SSH between their trusted zones. Customers can complete multi-environment changes through automation in minutes instead of manual procedures that take days. This should help significantly reduce IT support costs. Some examples of use cases for the new Process Runner include multi-environment updates, such as patching or enabling failover of a service to a different availability zone or DR site, optimizing operations across customer tenants, or enabling outsourcing of IT support and integrating IT processes for subsidiaries or recently acquired companies or customers. Security is always top of mind for our customers. It's also not lost on us that these systems are performing automations that have great power. And as our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man also learned, with great power comes great responsibility. In 4.0, there's a variety of new features to enhance security in various areas of the platform. We've added authorization strings to webhooks. They are only shown once when they are generated, but can be regenerated as needed to maintain the security of those external calls. User logins for local accounts also have a few enhancements to protect the accounts and your automation system. Everyone knows password complexity requirements. It's the reason your great auntie has a Post-it under her keyboard. That has been added to our local user system. Resetting passwords can also be now sent via email as a magic link instead of directly changing someone's password. And finally, we've added some configurable failed login rate limiting to help protect against brute force attacks. And now let's get to all the plugins. Plugins are the lifeblood of process automation. Within our commercial products, you'll find extensive plugins to connect to various systems and up-level the functionality of the platform. So let's look at some of the enhancements we've released with 4.0 all the way through our most recent 4.3 release. On the AWS side, to supplement the existing list of plugins that were delivered in the 3.4 series, we now have a new SSM node executor. This helps you perform tasks on your EC2 nodes instead of using SSH. If you need more information about something going on in AWS, use the new CloudWatch job steps to gather logs and share them with your other systems. And if you're new to the AWS seat, there's automation options for ECS because containers are nodes too. Gather the list of containers and perform automation against them. A new EC2 health check option so you can run your jobs and nodes that are actually running, and a validate credential step that can be used for troubleshooting. Again, if you're not quite sure how these fit together or how you might use these, I'll encourage you to check out Jake Cohen's session on automated diagnostics. His session pulls all of this new functionality into many common use case scenarios. While SSO is supported for any OpenID Connect capable solution, our plugin capabilities, we can enhance certain single sign-on situations. The new Azure single sign-on plugins will also integrate group entries to the Rundeck solution so that access can be granted through the groups that you already have and continue to manage in your Active Directory within Azure. For our PagerDuty users, it's now possible to automate user management to streamline the onboarding of new users, as well as gather lists of users in various groups. And we also now support sending events to our EU API endpoints for those in the European Union. Our Thycotic plugin now supports more password types and can be configured through the system configuration screen without needing a restart. So no more editing files on the server and no more need to restart Rundeck when you implement these plugins. Datadog also gets the EU treatment with the ability to configure URLs for their European Union endpoints. And Google Cloud gets a health check as well to complement the GCP node source we released in 3.4. That health check lets you know, again, if a node is running or not, and you can skip running jobs on compute instances that aren't currently running. And with any of our major releases, there's a ton of work done behind the curtain as well. The foundational components got upgrades across the board, including a significant number of package updates to ensure process automation is staying ahead of the CVEs and any other security concerns. Grails 5 and Grails 7.2 are foundational components of the product. Our UI is now built with Node 16, and all of our Docker image are now based on Ubuntu 20.04. So we have all of these commercial products, but we haven't forgotten our roots in open source. The list shown here includes submissions since last year during the 3.4x series up to some of the most recent releases. These submissions from these community members are greatly appreciated. I hope I didn't forget anyone's name, but if I did, please reach out and let us know. And if you're curious about how to contribute to the Rundeck open source project or documentation site, there's notes actually on our documentation site under the learning section about how to share those improvements. And that covers 4.0 through our most recent 4.3 release. So let's offer a preview of where we plan on focusing our time for the automation portfolio this year. If you heard my talk from last year, there's been a focus on up and useful within Rundeck for a couple of years now. And we've done a lot of work with the UI revamp that came in 3.4 and more useful features like configuration management, user wizards, tours, etc. This year will be no different. We're going to continue our commitment to making the automation products easier to use across the board. You'll also see deeper integration between automation actions and the process automation portfolio to streamline those integrations between managing your incidents and remediating those incidents. As well as we're exploring some deeper integration with our event orchestration and event intelligence products inside the PagerDuty platform. We're also going to expand runbook automation use cases across various cloud systems. So if you're curious about where to go next, you can get your hands on the latest version. Again, at our docs.rundeck.com site has all of our documentation. There's a learning section there with a pre-built environment that you can download and walk through some tutorials, as well as additional how-to articles that are based on that environment to show you how to set up different types of automation. Thank you.